Every moon in the solar system orbits its planet. That is the rule. Earth's moon orbits Earth. Jupiter's moons orbit Jupiter. Saturn's 60-plus moons orbit Saturn. In every case, the center of gravity, the invisible point that everything else circles, sits inside the larger body. That is how gravity works. Pluto does not follow this rule. Pluto and its largest companion, Charon, orbit a point in empty space, a location with no surface, no mass, no physical object of any kind, suspended 960 kilometers above Pluto's crust in a void that contains nothing. The universe made an exception for Pluto. The exception is worse than you think. To understand why the exception exists, you have to go back to the moment it was made. 4 billion years ago. One collision. No witnesses. No survivors. The evidence is in the composition. Pluto and Charon should be made of the same material. Two bodies forming in the same region of the early solar system, from the same cloud of gas and rock and ice pulled from the same reservoir. The ratio of rock to ice should match, not perfectly, but closely. That is how every other planet-moon pair in the solar system formed. That is what the models predict. Charon is mostly ice. Pluto is mostly rock. They do not match. They cannot have formed together. The only explanation that fits the data, a third body, an object roughly the size of Ceres, the largest asteroid in the solar system, struck Pluto at several kilometers per second, approximately 4 billion years ago. The impact tore through Pluto's outer layers, which were predominantly ice. That material was flung outward. Gravity pulled the debris into orbit. Over thousands of years, it collapsed into Charon. The collision lasted at most a few hours. What it created has been locked in place ever since. Here is the part the textbooks leave out. The impact did not just create Charon. It created a gravitational structure that has never been seen anywhere else in the solar system. A bond so complete, so irreversible, that the two worlds cannot alter it by a single kilometer. The collision is over. It has been over for 4 billion years. But what it locked into place is still moving. And it is doing something to this system that no other planet in the solar system does. Here is where the physics becomes strange. Because the barycenter, that empty point in space they both orbit, lies outside Pluto's surface. Pluto and Charon achieved something no other large body in the solar system has managed: mutual tidal locking. Not the one-sided lock of Earth and its moon, where only the moon keeps one face toward Earth. Both worlds locked simultaneously. Pluto always shows the same face to Charon. Charon always shows the same face to Pluto. The distance between them, 19,640 kilometers, has not changed in billions of years. It will not change. The system has reached the end state of tidal evolution. There is nothing left for it to do except continue. Mutual locking does not mean stillness. It means Pluto's atmosphere is dying in a way that cannot be undone. Pluto takes 248 years to orbit the Sun. As it moves through that orbit, one face warms slightly, the other cools. Nitrogen, which makes up Pluto's thin atmosphere, sublimates on the warmer face and refreezes on the colder one. The atmosphere migrates. It does not stay where it was, and each cycle, a fraction of that nitrogen escapes Pluto's weak gravity entirely. New Horizons measured this in 2015, a plasma tail of nitrogen ions streaming behind Pluto like the tail of a comet, extending millions of kilometers into space. We did not know that was happening. The nitrogen is not coming back. The loss is slow. It is also permanent. The two things together make it worse than any single catastrophe. The atmosphere is leaving. It has been leaving since before anything on Earth could watch it go. There is no mechanism that stops it. At the scale of 248-year orbits and 100-million-year atmospheric loss, individual moments stop meaning anything, except one. From the surface of Pluto, Charon does not rise. It does not set. It does not move across the sky. It hangs at a fixed point. 7 times larger than the Moon appears from Earth. Close enough that its surface features are visible with the naked eye. And it stays there. It has stayed there for 4 billion years. It will stay there until the physics of this system finally unravels. If you stood on one side of Pluto, Charon would dominate the sky above you, permanent and enormous, the most constant thing in the universe. If you stood on the other side, the sky would hold nothing where Charon should be. Not because Charon has moved. Charon never moves. But because Pluto stopped rotating the moment the tidal lock completed, and one entire hemisphere was permanently turned away. That hemisphere has never seen Charon. It will never see Charon. The same world, the same moment, 2 completely different skies. And no process in this system will ever carry anything from one side to the other and back again. One side knows what is there. The other side does not. Both of them are right. Pluto and Charon are not a planet and its moon. They are 2 survivors of the same catastrophe, locked together by the force of a collision that neither of them chose, orbiting a point in empty space that belongs to neither of them, bleeding atmosphere into the dark, at a rate that will eventually leave both of them bare and silent. That point has no name. It has existed for 4 billion years. It will outlast both of them. The universe keeps its own records.